Ooh, that was fun. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Circle R Ranch. I'm Ken, holding in my hands this absolutely beautiful Airsonic W. And I was rocking a little bit of Jay Navarro and the Traders this morning because, you know, A, the song is appropriate. It's called Right Apart off of our first EP from 5 or 6 years ago. And as Jay pointed out on the socials yesterday, and he wrote a song about Ukraine years ago. And
the Crimean Peninsula.
During the Crimean incident, and then now here we are all these years later, and that song makes sense again. But I also like that song, and then I just like randomly I put the video of me playing that solo up on my Instagram page last week because it's kind of a fun solo, and the Traders are getting ready to go out on tour again. We're going out in May, and over to the East Coast with our good friends Big D and the Kids Table. Reverend people.
Right.
More Reverend people. Lots of Reverend guitars out on tour. And I found out that while we were on that tour, LG,
yes,
the Rude Girl Review is going to be playing with us in New York City.
That's neat.
Our good friend Kristen from the Scotch Bonnets and her fucking rad band, her and Jenny Whiskey, and their all-girl ska band, which is like, it's like 12 women ska band. It's bad to the bone.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited to be playing with them in New York City, of all places, at the Gramercy.
Nice place.
May something. I don't know. May something. I'll give you more as we get closer. I have used an Airsonic off and on in that band. I love the Airsonic, and while we're on the subject, I fielded a couple questions about these guitars last week, and then when I came in this morning and there were some finished ones up on the rack, it kind of got me thinking about talking about Naylor and what we do here at Reverend, and this is clearly one of the most original electric guitar designs in the marketplace today, and I know I talk about it a lot, but I'm excited about it. This is a Carina body bolt-on, 25.5-inch scale with the traditional bolt-on maple neck. They are roasted maple at this point, of course. The Carina body itself is unusual in bolt-on guitars and in what we like to call mid-priced guitar production. We here are making guitars for players, and we're trying our darndest to make them affordable for people to take them right out onto the stage. They're pro-level guitars we're trying to price accordingly so that all levels of professional players can take these things right out to the stage and rock and roll. And so that's one part of Naylor's design when it comes to these instruments. And then the other thing is Joe wants to try to offer something unique to all of you all. And so while he skirts with tradition when it comes to things like, maple necks and scale lengths and with a healthy respect to the things that have come before us, and colors as well, we're inspired by a lot of vintage guitar colors and things like that. Our goal is to try to move the electric guitar forward, and I think the Airsonic and the Club King are two great examples of that when it comes to traditional 6-strings electrics. What's fun about this is it is a solid body, and it is thick underneath of the bridge and underneath of the pickups. It is the traditional thickness of an electric solid body guitar, but then notice the wings get thin and the body is somewhat larger than our more traditional offsets like the 6-gun and the Jetstream that you see over here. And what this does, these thin wings resonate very freely when you're playing the guitar, which sounds weird because it's a solid body, and you think of the resonance as being a semi-hollow thing. But you actually get that with these thin wings, and when you punch the holes through it, I mean, yeah, to emphasize it, right? I mean, so it's part fun, and it's part design, and it's part gimmick. It's like all of that stuff, right? But yeah, the less wood, of course, does make it lighter, and it does allow that resonance. And so there's a cavity here under the bass contour control, and a cavity under the 3-way switch, and of course a cavity under this control plate. And then having these F-holes punched right through the bodies allows the thin wings to resonate even more freely. So it evokes the tones of a semi-hollow guitar while being a solid body. But really, the goal here isn't for it to sound like a semi-hollow guitar. The goal is for it to sound new, right? I mean, to really forge a new path, which I think this guitar does. And I think that's what makes this guitar really exciting. And it just has, I mean, this is the car amplifier. Sorry, Penny was like, whoa! But this is the car with the neck pickup. These are, this is a Nuevo 90 in the neck. And you can feel how thick and warm that guitar is. And with the bridge pickup on, you get the bright. But you can still really sense the bottom end on this is quite a bit different than on the 6-guns or whatever. You can hear that sort of roundness to the tone. What was that? You know, if you don't put the note on the end, or if you, as I did there a second, if you miss the note on the end, that sounds terrible. But you get the note there, it is kind of fun. And the decision to go with the Railhammer pickups on this guitar was, again, the sort of same animal. Every once in a while I get asked if we're going to offer the Airsonic with P90s or with traditional humbuckers or whatever. But I mean, we're making a thoroughly modern thing here, and going along with that modern avenue is Joe's modern pickup design. And the Railhammers just work nicely in this. Now, if it's not for you, the Railhammer thing, of course, they are, you know, PAF sized. You could basically put anything in this guitar that you want to do. But I think the Nuevo 90s complement this guitar very, very well. LG, you're going to have to refresh my mind. I can't remember if we're putting a heavy 90 in the bridge on this thing or not.
Ooh.
I know.
I don't know.
And you know, and it seems pretty rockin' to me. I can't tell if that extra girth is from the Airsonicness of it, or because I have heavy 90s in my Matt Wests, but that's a solid body thing, and that seems to be a little bit sharper. Yes, dear.
Heavy 90 bridge, Nuevo 90.
That's I kind of had a feeling, and this guitar responds differently than the same pickup in my Wests. You know what I mean? In the traditional, more compact solid body, which is why I had to ask. But So there's a cool thing about the heavy 90s too, is they're not like so hot that you're ruining your clean sound. You know, the clean sound on this is great, and it's just plugged straight in. And both together. Oh, that's a beauty. And you can roll off the bass contour and get some more traditional sort of single coil style tones if you like. This is the Airsonic. And another thing too, we're shipping a bunch. You know, we were back ordered on this guitar for like a while.
I know we were.
And we finally got some in, and they're going out to stores and everything. So I kind of wanted to address that in case anybody is asking you, yeah, that's cool, but where do I find one of those?
Right.
They're currently, they are heading out. This one, as a matter, I know for a fact, is going to Wildwood. I took it right out of their order in the back, which is a thing that happens.
Sorry, fellas.
So, oh no, I'm not playing with a pick. I'm being a good boy. I got plastic, no metal here. You know, I got the plastic buttons, and I'm not playing with a pick or whatever. And this is in true Wildwood fashion. This is serial number 48215. It is a BGB 48215, and it will be in Wildwood's inventory within the next couple weeks. Anybody have any questions for me, LG?
Oh yeah.
I forgot my coffee. What a bummer.
Simply Pie and other people also ask this question.
Okay.
Will the hardtail version of the Airsonic be back with the other Railhammer pickup?
that question goes right along with that Manta Ray question.
Right.
I think so. I would like to offer the hardtail version of this again with the more aggressive Railhammers, because that was a fun instrument. In all honesty, the Trem outsold it about 3-1.
It did.
In general, when we were making equal parts of both.
Yeah.
Which is why when we needed to make room for other things here for a minute, the hardtail version of the Airsonic went away a little bit, like a few other things did. But that is on the short list of things to bring back, indeed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eric Sycamore would like to hear some nice jazz chords on that thing.
AKA Bug-Eye.
Bug-Eye.
Eric, I don't know any jazz chords. Why are you putting me on the spot? I see how you are. Eric, get that bass contour back up and turn the tone control down a little bit, which isn't something I usually do. Ooh, that reminds me, we got to talk about treble bleed. Does that count? I mean, it was a major 7. Can you just play major 7 and call it a jazz chord?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a theory guy. Listen, my son's going to be here in a little while. We could turn the camera back on and he can play us some jazz chords. He's way better at that.
He really knows all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He knows all the chords.
Rick Anderson has a good question.
Okay.
He says, with the thin wings,
yeah,
does the guitar weigh less? Does it weigh around 7 pounds
it does.
instead of around 8 pounds?
Well, yeah, what do you know? Yes, that is correct. It does. These come in around in the low to mid 7s, and for the size guitar it is, and for a bolt-on, that is unusual. So yes, that does contribute to the weight factor. And I would say that, I mean, typically on average, I think the Airsonics weigh a little bit less than the Club Kings do. There's more wood in a Club King, even though it is a semi-hollow. Isn't that strange?
It is strange. By the way, Michael Krause said that was jazzy enough for him.
Thank you, sir.
But Frank Giffen says, no, you can't play jazz unless you can do a D minor 7th B flat at 5. Or something.
What?
I don't know. Right, I knew it would break you, that's why I said it. I thought it was funny.
There. Did I do it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think so.
What? Yeah, I think I did it.
Uh-huh.
All right. Anyway.
Mr. Wrong wants to know if this will be available at Merchant City.
Yes. Yes. They. A matter of fact, we have a whole bunch of stuff going to our friends at Merchant City in Glasgow, even as we speak.
Right this
They're
very
working
second.
on having those picked up. Even as we speak, that is happening. So sure, just reach out over there and talk to Richard or any of the fantastically fun people at Merchant City Guitars. They will let you know when they can expect theirs.
Yes. A lot of people are asking about other colors.
Currently, black, red burst, and alpine burst.
Yep.
We think after another thing that we discovered after a little bit of experimentation and having the Airsonic in the line for a few years, it seems like in general you guys seem to really dig the burst finishes on them, and the burst finishes have always sold better than the solid color finishes. But we are offering it in black because black guitars are awesome. And this guitar in particular, I just think destroys in black. But the red burst has been consistently popular. Why, LG? Why do you think? We have a friend.
Well, I don't know if this is the reason why, but.
Is it more of a who?
Right, Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie. Our friend Bernie Williams has one of these, and he plays it around. He plays it around New York quite a bit, and there's a lot of pictures of him on their Intergoogles with his red burst Airsonic. Funny, I remember when we launched this. When we launched this, we were, I think it was the first time we had that fun corner booth at the NAMM show.
Oh, right.
And when we launched these, we had our racks set up, and we had the 6 new Airsonics all in a row right across the top. And when you came into the hall, the first thing you saw was our booth, and your eyes were just drawn to the 6 Airsonics right across the top of the booth. And Bernie Williams walked in and he pointed at the red one. And can I see that? Like, it was so instant. And
it was like a beacon.
And then he played it that night at the Marriott.
Yes.
And then
Joe had to set it up for him for whatever it was he was doing.
Yeah.
Right there on the NAMM show
floor. That happened.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he played it that night, and we made him bring it back to us.
He did so
because we needed it for the show.
Right.
Right. And then on Sunday, he was staying in LA for something, and he came back and picked it up and kept it, and he's had it ever since.
Yep. Yeah, and he plays it all kinds of places,
Yeah.
all kinds of fun places.
Yeah,
So.
and that was one of the prototypes. Did he play the national anthem on this?
No, that was a Jetstream.
That was his Jetstream.
Yeah, but I think he has played that. Maybe he has.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's played it on TV a bunch of times. And,
Indeed.
Yeah.
He has.
Pat Flores, say hi to Pat.
Hello, Pat.
Says, such a rad guitar.
It
Any
is.
plans for a semi-hollow 6-string Jetstream in the future?
See, that's the interesting question. We're doing these.
Right.
The Jetstream was designed as a solid body guitar, and while I'm never going to say never, that question bears more reflection actually on the creation of the Club King guitar, because so if you'll notice, no, you sure won't. There's not a lot of difference in the size of the body between the Jetstream and the Charger. Basically, the Charger body is what we use on the Flat Rock and the Charger and the Buckshot and all those things. The Charger body and the Jetstream body, the only main difference on those two things is the upper horn, right? And so Joe, in the very, very early days of the Flat Rock, like really just checking the first few production runs of the Chargers and the Flat Rocks, did a semi-hollow Charger in the semi-hollow Flat Rock with the F-hole. And Joe wasn't very pleased with the results tonally. He felt like he had a guitar that sounded great in a solid body, and then he just removed some wood from it, and it just sort of made it sound less. It didn't add anything. It didn't add any airiness to it. And so so now this isn't Naylor's thought process, this is mine. I feel the same way about Tele Customs. okay? I think they're super cool looking, no question, but they don't sound great. You know, they do have their own sound, and there's people that have used them to great effect. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say that, you know, those late 60s and early 70s Telecustoms are crummy guitars or whatever. They're not. They don't sound like Tellies. They sound like their own thing. And Joe didn't really like the results of just having a semi-hollow on that body style, which is why he developed the Club King. He made it larger. He put the spruce top on it to give it that little of an acoustic zing, and kept the scale length the same, so he ended up with a guitar that had that sort of snap and twang, but sounded big and full like a semi-hollow at the same time, so hence the Club King. And this Airsonic was geared a little towards something that you could do a more aggressive style music on and still have that bottom end girth of the semi-hollow and that resonance of the semi-hollow, but be able to play some high gain stuff on it without having any of the feedback. So to answer your question, Patrick, to get back around to where this whole thing started, because we have the Club King and the Airsonic, I don't think we would be doing a Jetstream semi-hollow with an F-hole for any other reason than that guitar would look cool with an F-hole.
And it would.
It would look awesome, but sonically it doesn't have anything to add to the line, so it's way down on the list of things, you know, that we would plan on doing. I do think it would look sweet, though. You know what I mean? It's certainly not out of the question, but I don't think it adds anything to what we're doing sonically in the line.
Right. I have a lot more questions. By the way.
Man, can I weave a yarn?
Jacob wants to know, realistically, what's the best way to order one and when? And he said further on in the comments, can I order one directly from Reverend? But you can't.
No, we only sell to dealers in our dealer network, and again, we're lucky for us. We've been somewhat popular lately, and I understand that our dealers are having a hard time keeping things in stock. And your best bet for finding one is to just reach out to a Reverend dealer and say, hey, I'm looking for X or Y, and when can I do that? And I always feel bad when I sit in this chair and talk about the same dealers over and over again, because I always feel like I'm ignoring people, which I don't want to do, you know what I mean? But there are a handful of dealers that order a lot of guitars, who keep a lot of guitars in stock at all times, that you are going to have better luck finding things at. And of course, those dealers would be Sweetwater Musician's Friend, Wildwood Guitars out in Colorado, Tone Shop Guitars, Joe's Music in East Point, Heights Guitars or Small Box here in Toledo, Bees Music in Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Don't forget about Russo.
Russo Music in New Jersey.
Merchant City.
Yeah, I'm just thinking U.S. Outside of the U.S., yeah, I mean, obviously Merchant City does a great job, but that doesn't mean that Andertons and Peach and Guitar aren't doing a great job. They're all doing a great job too, you know, and we appreciate everybody who deals with us, you know, but those are people who historically have had a lot of our guitars in stock. And so when we started to sort of have a shortage of things, right? When it got to the point where we were like, oh, where the demand was so big, we wanted to make sure that we took care of, you know, the Wildwoods and the Tone Shops and the Joes and the Bees Music. We want to make sure we took care of those guys, because those are the guys that have been taking care of us. And, you know, Penny, I mean, I could do this forever. And Chicago Music Exchange, Distinctive Guitar.
Don't forget about Better Music in Australia.
Blues Angel. Yeah. Well, now that is, Australia is different.
Oh, that's true.
Because yeah, we're selling to more independents in Australia than we ever were before.
Right.
So that is its own sort of dealer network. Music and Arts Australia is the distributor. I don't know if you can get in touch with them directly, and then they can steer you towards somebody in their.
They still have stores, right? They still have their Better Music stores, don't they?
I don't know. We're off topic.
Oh, we're way off topic.
Yeah, we're off topic on that one.
All right.
Anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
I hope that helps. I know it's like.
Your best strategy is to figure out your favorite Reverend dealer, call them up, email them, walk in, however you want to get in touch with them and say, I want this guitar, and they can get it on order for you. I don't know how long it's going to be, but they will have a better idea.
Indeed.
Right.
This is true.
Lee said, will Reverend soon be announcing a Water Sonic, Earth Sonic, or Fire Sonic? I thought that was a cute thing.
I like that.
Yes.
I know. Maybe we should have called this the Airbender.
Oh yeah, I see what you did there.
Yeah, see what I did there? Yes.
Just when I think you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Scott said he saw a pre-order for Roundhouse and Outfield Ivy. Do you know when that might be available?
I'm afraid I don't. One of the things that, and I don't want anybody that's ever watching this show to think that I'm blowing them off or whatever, but as a sort of generalness going forward, just so you guys and gals know, it is very difficult for me to sit in this chair and answer that question. I keep track of a lot of things in my head, but when stuff starts to ship, on each individual model and color and stuff is beyond
And
what I'm capable of doing sitting here.
And that's
yes, they're
different,
coming.
Right, and that's different for various dealers too,
Yes.
depending on when they ordered it from us and where they are in the line and.
Yeah, there are
so
some, right. Well, because, yeah, that's true, LG. That's a very good point. There are some people that, like,
Johnny
have wanted to
and
place orders with
right,
us so
yeah.
far out in advance
Yeah.
that when the new stuff comes, they already have those orders with us because they communicate with our salespeople very well. And so sometimes, yeah, people get them. And then there's things, too, that we're, like, we've spent a lot of the morning talking because somebody's going to ask. I just bring it up. We're planning on having this Billy Corgan guitar out to everybody in May. It's going to happen. What the exact date that's going to happen is, whether it's going to be late April or early May or mid, whatever, all of that stuff is, but we're getting, damn it, it's going to happen. It's coming. I swear it's coming. And I know some of our dealers have some pre-order buttons for some things up, that take me by surprise. Oh, really?
Right.
I forgot we're doing that. That's cool.
We don't know when we're going to get that.
Yeah. The green, boy, I couldn't even begin to tell you. I don't know. I know we're doing it, but yeah, that's going to be cool. How cool is that going to be?
Right.
That's going to be dope.
Right.
Yeah.
Nathan asked, what made you decide to use maple and hyper vintage on the hardtail versions and rosewood with Nuevo 90 on the W version?
No, it didn't happen quite that way. We're doing, this is the W version here with the rosewood board, and I think the other two colors have maple boards. And sometimes that's just luck of the draw. Joe visually will have an idea. Like I know Joe really likes the look of rosewood with the red burst, which is why that decision was made. We try to mix it up, and then when we change colors, we try to mix it up so that if we've been offering one thing for a really long time, then we'll offer the other neck 1 year just to try to sort of change it up.
Yeah.
But when we were doing both trem and hardtail, there was a mix of maple and rosewood on each color scheme. And I think as far as the pickups are concerned, we just put the heavier Railhammers in the hardtail version because the hardtail stuff sort of lends itself to the down tuning a little bit better because it's easier to change the tunings on the fly when you don't have a floating trem, whereas most people who play with the trem sort of pick a tuning and stick with it.
Yeah.
Which lends itself to standard a little bit better as a general rule.
Well, that leads to my next comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Ryan says two things. One, these are awesome. It might be awesome as a baritone, which is what you're almost kind of alluding to a little bit. Anyway. And then he said, two, here's my weekly comment on how this would look amazing as a reverse headstock.
Oh, my man.
He knows his audience.
Yeah. Preaching to the choir. You see, when you have an offset body, you have this angle naturally occurring because the waist is offset. And so if this angle is naturally occurring here, naturally that angle would look really good up here too. And then, I'll leave the reverse headstock thing alone this week. I'll be nice.
Right. And Simply Pie has a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Will the previous Corgan models stay in production when the new ones come out?
This is a good question. As of right now, our plan is to continue to offer the BC1 and the TERS in pearl white in limited numbers. The TERS more limited than the BC1. The main reason for that is we shook some ground when we launched that BC1.
Yeah.
And the imagery of that guitar has become associated with us because, Billy is such a major star, of course, and he's such a public figure. And then him doing a guitar with us was a significant step in our evolution, you know what I mean, as a company. And then Joe made such a really cool, distinctive looking guitar with those pickguards and things that, Penny and I have seen actual like unlicensed images of that guitar
T-shirts and mugs
used
and things.
used in places and stuff. And so the sort of look of that guitar has become associated with us, and I hesitate to just leave it behind. And it sounds great. And Billy said to us, even before we started to develop the BC2,
Yes.
that developing the BC2 isn't a condemnation of anything that the BC1 does or doesn't do. William, I just call him William.
You just did.
Billy, when we first started to discuss the BC2, Billy said to Joe and I at a pumpkin show that he felt that the BC1 was the single best instrument to project a modern guitar sound. And for him playing new music, he loved the edge and the mid-range and the clarity of the BC1 for modern tones and for what the Pumpkins are doing now. And the reason why the BC2 was developed was for him to harken back to some of the tones that he was getting in his earlier career and be able to better replicate those tones on stage while still playing a Reverend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. That really, that is what started the conversation of the BC2. And so some of the features of the new Billy Corgan enable him to go back and do that. And we'll leave that hang on that for now, indeed. What else you got, LG?
I think I want to end on this comment.
Okay, all right then.
Sky Barnes says, I know y'all are probably stressed by all the supply chain issues, but you guys are doing an awesome job still making a great product and connecting with your consumers. Keep it up. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. I needed to hear that today, so
Yeah,
I really
you
appreciate you. Thank you very much. Cool. I'm going to let you go. I've got to remind everybody we're not going to be here next week,
Right.
and we apologize. Penny and I are running off to New York City to go to Rudy's.
True, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, next weekend we're going to be in New York City, and we're very, very excited. We're obviously we're going to visit our daughter who lives there, which is great, and we're going to visit her for her birthday. But I'm going to tell them we're going to see David Byrne.
Right.
I'm super fired up
Right.
about seeing David Byrne.
Yeah, me too.
We don't get to meet with him or nothing like that. I wish. But we're going to see the David Byrne show on Broadway next weekend, and that is going to be cool. But we're taking the train because we do that.
Why not?
We enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to leave. We have to leave really early in the morning on Friday in order to take the train to New York. So we won't be here. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. And then we're also, as part of our New York trip, we're gonna stop by and see not just Rudy's but our friends at Collar City too.
Right.
And we'll be out there in the middle of the week next week, hanging out with Peter at Collar City, who's another great person, by the way, to talk to about equipment, because he's in close contact with Zach, and he knows what he has in stock and knows
Right.
what he has coming.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So see how hard that is when I get asked about specific
I
deals.
know.
We have so many friends that are our dealers, and I like them all so much.
Well,
but-
I know. I
never
just
wanna
wanted
feel
you
like
to
I'm-
talk about the process and the way it works.
Yes,
You
yes.
know what I mean?
Of course. And maybe if I'm really lucky, we'll catch some video with Mr. Gabrels next week too,
That would be
while
fun.
we're out there. I think we're kind of loosely planning on doing something at the Collar City store next week, so that'll be cool.
Yep.
And if that turns into a live thing, we'll let you know.
Yep.
And if not, we will see you here 2 weeks from today. Thank you for paying attention, everyone. And I'll rock you out on the reggae beat, and we'll just try to keep it simple.
Do it.
Oh, listen to that.